look like a teacher.
Do I?
Professor or some shit like that.
Good. I hope these girls need an A because I'm going to make them work for it. I'm a dirtball. All right.
Yeah.
We'll use this at the beginning. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Steak and Sauce Podcast, the baddest podcast in the land. Episode 26. If you don't know, you should, because
your baby mama does.
She damn sure does, okay? I'm 1/3 of this dynamic that we present to you. You know my name. I go by Derek, Mr. Nowlin, Daddy, King Cooper, the Wing King, Mr. Make It Happen to my left. You already know who this incredible gentleman is.
AC
Claiborne, number 21. You know how hits get down. It's always cold, even in the summertime, right?
Yeah, you already know.
You already know. We have an exceptional guest here today. We have Mr. Tim Glover. Give it up.
Yes, sir.
Right.
The man, the myth, the legend. Listen, I'm so ecstatic for you being here today. I tried to keep it from Tonio.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But he couldn't do it, so he made me spoil it before you even got here. He made me tell him. He said if I didn't tell him, he wasn't going to come. Yeah, right. So I had to do what I had to do, let him know that you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
And we got a lot we want to get into today. First off, we want to thank everybody that continues to support this platform. We can't do it without you guys. We really appreciate everyone who's subscribing, sharing, talking about this platform. We want to continue to give the best content that we can. With that being said, put that burger down. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button so that you can be included on any time that we drop the most fire content in the land, right? Also, Mr. Weston is here, the man behind the fence, Mr. Get It Done, Mr. Roll his eyes at me when I say crazy stuff. So just let you know he is in the building. How's everybody's week, man?
My week's been great.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everything's been great here, man. It's been like a family reunion, getting back with you guys.
Oh, man, it's been great.
Walk down memory lane.
Yes, this is going to be great.
It's been about 20 years.
20 years, hey. I'm telling you, God is good because we're able to do this, and it just seems like yesterday we was walking down the hallway, and Brad Foster was coming in with a 2-for-2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits trying to get into Mr. Glover's class late,
right.
you know?
That's right.
Yeah, as I'm walking down to who taught drafting?
Charlie Odom. Shout out to Charlie Odom, man.
Shout out to him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's been great. I had a great week. Last night I had another comedy showcase with the Real Comedy Group. Shout out to L.A. Preston. Shout out to Jordan B. and everybody else that was there. Zach Assad. We had an amazing show at Ursula's Cafe in Roanoke. Shut it down.
That's awesome.
Incredible crowd. Very responsive. Handed out some steak and sauce cards, mingled with the group, flirted with the girls that had blue hair and probably have elf ears and a Zelda shield or something like that in their closet. Yeah. So I had to let them know, this is what I'm looking for now.
Yeah, they little sexy things.
They bad now. I like it when they cross their eyes and put their tongue out, You know what I'm talking about? We're going to start this off early. All right. So, but as always, throughout the week, sometimes things can get a little hectic. What I like to do is find some things that make me laugh. If you guys could go ahead and put those headphones on for me right quick. Found some videos, want to get you guys' reaction to them. Obviously, I've seen them already, but we want to get your guys' live reaction. And you guys tell me what you would do in these situations if it was you.
All right.
Make you mad, what do you be wanting to say to me? Come on now.
I don't want to say it.
You can say it. You're not going to get in trouble.
He thinks he's getting
I
tricked.
don't want to say
Yeah.
a cuss word.
That sounds like
You
Max.
can.
He won't
I'm telling
cuss.
you, it's okay.
Now, Kenzie, on the
Just
other
this
hand, she's
one
probably going to be
time,
like the
though.
daughter.
Bro.
Say it, Junior. You're first.
He knows it's a setup.
I don't know. I'll just go.
Okay.
You're a fucking bitch.
If I make you mad, what do you be wanting to say to me?
Oh, my gosh.
Come on now.
Obviously, this girl's been here before.
Yeah.
She is reincarnated. Did you see her hand, her head movement, the attitude? Where does she get that from?
From her mama.
She's been holding on to that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Look at the comments. Belts not on, parents recording on phone while they're driving. Wonderful example being set for those kids. It doesn't matter how good mom thinks she is at driving. All it would take is somebody to cut her off, a tire blowout, debris on the road, and that little girl is going through the windscreen. That's a little bit dramatic.
That's a little bit.
Who is that? Cat 1987. That's a little bit dramatic, okay? We've all filmed while we've been driving before, and we shouldn't have, right? And we know that those kids, obviously those kids are at a weight where they can sit in the back, I think, right?
She does have a point with the seatbelts not
She
being
has
on.
a point with the seatbelts, but I mean, come on now. Let's not all be Karens, you know? But I get it, though. Keep the kids safe.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious because the way that the girl said it, like she had so much attitude and stuff. So what would y'all have done?
Probably nothing. She gave him permission to say whatever they wanted to say.
That's true.
Yeah, I was expected to be here. She took it to
She
there.
took it.
So
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 5, like damn or something, but she took it to a, you know.
yeah, people be fussing at me because walking ain't crowded. You go walk the rest of the way home.
Right. Yeah, get out. Yeah. Let's run the next one.
About how I smell, what has happened during the day, and if too much has happened,
I'm a real one.
Yeah.
I don't care.
he does not.
Real one, speak up. Say something if you're listening.
You don't care because the real ones
I be
know.
like, don't come near me.
That FDF.
Do
Look
not,
at Tonio's
because if
face.
I smell myself
Listen.
during the act. I get so mad.
Wash
Hang
your
on,
ass.
hang on.
Women usually don't smell as bad to men as they do to themselves.
If I can
She
smell
like,
me
"I
at
smell."
all,
I'm like, I don't mind that at all. What you talking about?
if I can smell myself at all, I am
Summertime, maybe you may have to hit the brakes, but like,
no.
then you had marinated juice.
Marinated juice.
I care
Marinated
about-
juice. That's what I'm talking about.
How
I
I
did this.
smell.
Steak and sauce family. You know the reason why I did this? I want to let everybody know I'm not crazy. All right. Here's another successful man on another successful platform, right? He's a secure man. What's he tell everybody? I like it when my wife comes in a little bit sweaty and funky. So I'm not a crazy one. There's other men just like me out here that enjoy those pheromones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So I just wanted to let everybody know, hey, y'all talk about me all the time. There's other people out here too. I'm the same type of people that keep Long Johns open. There's a secret society of people that keep Long Johns in business, and I'm one of them, right? Same thing right here, right? You got to appreciate the sweat.
I don't want no sweat.
Oh, Antonio, come on, man.
Now, if we're making the sweat, that's different, but I don't want previous sweat from work. You got dust and shit flying in the air. I don't want that nowhere near.
What do you mean dust? Where the hell she working? A sawmill?
Maybe. I don't know where the hell she works at. My girl, no. She works at an office, but still.
Well, that means she's, never mind. Whew, I catch myself. Sorry. Let's run the next one.
Yeah, she's sitting on that thing.
Sitting on that thing. I was going to say it, but I'll let you say it. He already beat me up once for talking about it.
Shut up.
I don't want to do it again.
To jerk off in his sleep.
He is an idiot. He's hilarious.
Shut him down. You know, and some nights we'd hear him in the other room. You know what I'm saying? Dashing through the snow. And that
Said he
was
tied bells on
it
his
wasn't
uncle's
even a
hands.
seasonal thing. And it's kind of scary when you're thinking about, you wake up out of a cold sleep and you hear jingle bells and you think it's Christmas, but then it's just. It's somebody in the family jagging. I had a jerk off in his sleep, and they made him wear these jingle bells on his wrists.
Oh, sorry, that thing had me in tears.
Some nights we'd hear him.
They said they tied
what I'm
bells
saying, dashing
on
through
his
the snow.
uncle's wrist because
And
he
that
was
was-
playing with himself too much. And they said that's the way that they would know when he was doing it. He said so their kids thinking Christmas coming early in the morning, uncle in there tearing himself up. That's hilarious. Do you think that really happened?
I don't know. He comes up with some crazy stuff.
Theo Vaughn is a legend. And some of the stuff he says, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's true, but it's pretty daggone funny.
I don't know. We might see Theo Vaughn killed by his uncle.
After this story comes out, his uncle might come for him a little bit. I had a buddy of mine, real quick. I'll get in this. I won't say his name, but they said that they had a family member who used to get drunk a lot, go in the basement, and he made a helmet out of aluminum foil. And he said that the reason why he did that is because he was scared that when he was messing with stuff that people were reading his thoughts.
Oh, my God.
And it was a way to keep people from getting into his thoughts. So they got to drinking one night. Went to his house. He was in the basement with the aluminum foil hat on, you know. He's downstairs screaming. They heard him from upstairs. He said that him and 3 of his friends went downstairs and jumped him, beat him with this aluminum foil cap on, right? They said the next day he sent them a video on his phone. He had the same helmet, like redone with aluminum foil and a shotgun. And he told them that he was going to hunt them all down. When I'm not doing this story no justice, but when he told me this, I was like, dude, y'all better move out of the state. You know, you can't mess with people like that.
No.
That dude's already.
He's ready for it.
He's on the spectrum, right? Probably, right? And he's right there. Y'all beat him up and he knows who y'all are. It's over, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So
should be.
If you're out there, please don't hurt these boys. You know, I don't want no cases or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. Mr. Glover, you're a legend.
All right.
I reached out to you because in my heart of hearts, I was like, this is going to be epic. This show is going to have such substance. And the amount of fans that you have out there, when they see you on here, they're going to go nuts, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people that want to probably sit down right here with us and talk to you, you know?
A lot of people, urban legends, you know, used to grow out of that classroom. And,
they did.
You know, one of them was Madden game that was played about 20 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk. You know what? Let's start there. Let's talk about it.
Well, this man was in the back of my class. You know, teachers, you try to meet students, man. You try to build some credibility with them, meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Right.
One day we're talking about Madden, and I mean, this guy, I don't want to offend anybody out there. I know you got a lot of followers, but if he was not the best athlete at Christiansburg High School, he was one of the best.
Say it again. I say it all the time.
Man.
People get mad at me. Tonio is one of the best natural athletes I've ever any sport.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, hands down.
So we're talking about Madden one day, and I said, well, you know I could beat you, right? And I think you probably laughing
I laugh
as much now as you were then. You're out of your mind. I said, we'll play sometimes. So we all set it up. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we're going to talk this up. We're going to start building some credibility together, and then he'll come in here and he'll mop the floor with me, and it'll be a big joke. So,
it'll be over, right?
So the next few days, he'd look up, and I get on them sticks, man. You know, I'm playing it up for everything it's worth. So then the magic day came. All right. And in walks number 21.
To AC.
And I mean, listen. He's Dion without the glasses and the gold. the man had an entourage with him. I'm not lying.
How many people came with him?
Half a dozen, 8. I mean, this man, listen, I ain't lying.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get this thing started. And, 99 times out of 100, the rabbit is going to beat the tortoise.
Right.
But it's at one time. Okay. Yep. And I don't know if God is a Steelers fan or not. But it was that one time for Antonio. He was playing a great game. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. I had a punt return to the house.
Ooh.
A kick return to the house.
Ooh.
He drove the ball down my throat, 2 picks in the end zone, and I took him back 100 yards.
Now, when you would pick it, everybody that's out there that plays games, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say.
Because I do it.
On Madden, why is it that when the ball is in the air, the AI generates the pick? There is a whole 5 seconds where there's a whole 5 seconds where the camera goes round and round the players as the ball's in the air, and we are frozen in time.
Because
why can I not do anything?
Because we're both frozen. It's going back to my screen because I'm going to be on offense now. That's why it's doing that.
But how do you know it's going to be a pick?
Because I already got it in my hands.
No,
that's why I say, I got it.
The trajectory. I hate when he says that. When he knows he's going to pick you up, he goes, I got it. Before the ball even gets there, he's like, I got it. I hate it because there's nothing I can do. In real life, I could have threw my arm down.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I could have bodied him a little bit. Hooked him. There's nothing. Madden, it's already predetermined when it's going to be picked that ball's coming. So as the camera's swirling around, he's going, I got it. And I'm hating life. Hating life right now because there's nothing I can do.
Second,
my bad. Go back.
He was the second most surprised man in the room because the first one was right here. I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
Don't take us to the house.
Yeah.
I probably won by 7. All right.
Right.
And I set it down, and I know it just happened. Lightning done struck.
Right.
So I pulled Apollo Creed from Rocky 1. I set him down. I look up and say, ain't going to be no rematch. And there never was.
Right. You win one time.
That's it.
That's all you need.
That's it.
Back in the day, Tonio, shout out Terrence Saunders. Shout out all those guys that were Terrell Burks that were really good at games. I found a game that I was actually good at. It was a track and field. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So you had to hit a combination of X and O to make your player run.
Doing a 100, 200,
100, 200, 400, all these. Now, I was spanking everybody, right?
Attaboy.
Everybody. They were so mad. Derek finally found a game I'm good at.
He was nice
because
at it too.
I was nice. Because on the other games, I'd have work done on the Buccaneers.
And he would get mad because he would toss left, toss right. He'd be
That's
like,
all I would do.
why are you watching my plays?
Yeah,
Why are you
that's
watching
what I'm saying.
No, dude, you're doing 2 plays.
I'd say, stop watching my plays because I do toss left, they'd stack, right? Wide side the field, toss right, blow the play up, right? Ward Dunn was a 99 on there, right? He was a lightning. They'd break it up, and I'd say, just let me run the ball. That's what I tell them, right? So the game, I'm sitting there hitting XO, busting everybody. Tonio comes over one weekend. Tonio had this method.
Yeah, the controller.
He would take the controller, and that's how the button sounded. And I was like, what? Not only is he good in real life, but you're going to beat me on here? You're going to take this away from me, you know? So I really felt some type of way. I wasn't the man anymore. Like, he beat me in that, too. So
the game in there was NBA Street 2.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That was Terrence's game.
Terrence
It was great.
would literally...
He would throw oops.
He would throw oops for 10 minutes. Hey, and the points are going 1,000, 2,000, 3,000,
Game breaker.
4,000.
It's 2-0. He's got a game breaker.
Game breaker, you score 2 points. He ollies it 14 times, slam, game over. And you're wondering what happened. And as that's going on too, there's nothing you can do because the guys are jumping 40 feet in the air.
Yeah, he had Tim Duncan. Yeah, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I forgot who he had as
The
a
Admiral.
third person. And he was just lobbing it up.
To each other. Well, the 2 biggest myths that ever came out of that classroom was because of Street. Okay.
Right.
And I don't know, Matt Cooper, Brad Foster, if you're out there, shout
Shout
out
out to those guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Listen, first thing was we'd get heated in there for the games. Y'all know how we do.
Oh, it'd be war.
So one year, come back, August, September, come back to school. There's a whiteboard hanging up in the back of the classroom. And Matt started telling everybody, oh, that's because he punched holes in the walls when I beat him with Eldon Campbell. First of all, Eldon Campbell, suddenly a 5-star, all-star, all-century of Matt Cooper on the sticks.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about,
Right.
over there, Matt Cooper. Listen, there were no holes. And that, but once and for all, Matt, once and for all, no holes in there. Dan Swafford gave me a whiteboard. I put it up to teach. We recently lost Dan Swafford, a better man.
Rest in
Does
peace.
not exist, man. So
Rest in peace.
shout out
He
to
was
his
a great
family.
teacher.
He
What
was. We
What a
really enjoyed him.
great teacher,
Yeah.
better man.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah. So there was no holes in there. Now,
Right.
the second urban legend was one day Matt started doing some BS with Eldon Campbell, and I got mad. And I picked up a mouse and slammed it on the desk 3 times, and springs went everywhere. The mouse in the trash can. That one, 100% true.
So we can confirm the springs did bust out of the mouse.
It was
that
dead.
did happen,
It was
right?
dead.
It
Yeah.
did.
I've
Dead
been on a
completely.
PC land buying new mice. They said, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know."
Right. I remember leaving class real quick just to walk by, and you had the little slender rectangle glass in your door, and I'd put my hands up like this. The room would be dimly lit, projector screen down,
That's
right?
right.
You know,
That's right.
Brad's in the back eating a biscuit. Everybody's got their chairs up front, and Terrence is up, throwing oops on. I was like, man, this is the class.
Hurry up and score.
Sorry,
Hurry
yeah,
up and score.
we know you're good. Just hurry up, man. Golly. Shout out to all those guys, though. I recently took a trip, Wolfpack. Recently took a trip with those guys. It was amazing, and it's just a blessing to be able to not only enjoy our time together, but we still have those friendships.
Yeah, we still have
it's-
that bond. And it's like 15 to 20 of us
Yeah,
that still have that bond with each other.
100%. And I think it's amazing. We wish, Tonio couldn't go. Wish he could have. Everybody said this trip is not complete. If Tonio would have been there,
Because I can't get on the plane.
I know. But they wanted him there so bad because it would have just been epic. So I tell Tony all the time, people ask about you, man. They want to see you. They want you to come on these trips, And Zach said, hell, we'll just drive to Vegas. I said, I'm not driving to Vegas for him to go. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to tell him. What I said. So it's pretty crazy. But Mr. Glover, for the people that do not know you, give us a little bit of background on how long you've been in teaching in the school system. What inspired you to start doing that? Some of your background. Are you originally from this area? I'll let you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I grew up in Shawsville, man, right down the mountain from Christiansburg. Down there, we thought Christiansburg was the biggest rival in the world.
Right.
It wasn't until later I realized Christiansburg didn't exactly know where Shawsville was, man. We're swimming in 2 different ponds, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, people ask me how long I taught public school for 10 years between Fleming and Christiansburg, and but I've been teaching since I left. And we look at teachers today. We look into schools. I was talking to you, getting ready for this show, man. If you guys could go back into the schools and teach a class on the top 10 things I wish someone had taught me coming out of high school in my 20s and getting things rolling. Let me shorten the learning curve for y'all young bucks, because you think you know everything these days.
Right, yeah.
And teachers today, man, I mean, they're just like they were when you guys were in school. Highly educated, highly skilled. And I just respect so much. And the teachers y'all had in Christiansburg, Chris Meller. I don't know if Chris Meller's going to hear this, but I always thought, man, her kids are getting a college level education and don't even realize it.
Right.
Great students. So when I left, I've been teaching ever since. Now, what I teach and who I teach has changed. I got into sales. I was fortunate enough to be recruited into that. I've been doing it ever since. It's been really successful for me. I've got a chance to experience a lot of things. Now I'm in health insurance. I don't sell it directly. I'm a sales director, so I manage a lot of what goes on.
Big dog.
But man, no,
awesome. Big
it's
dog
not like that, man.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, we all teach. It's the number one job function that that successful people in sales do, and different things. And one day, schools are going to be in trouble because corporate America is going to realize, man, we've got a great talent pool that we can pull from. We just got to go into schools and get teachers, man, because they're highly educated, they're highly skilled, they can do everything in the world. So many teachers tell me, well, I don't know what else I can do. That I still teach.
They can do anything.
Man, they can do anything they want to do. And one day, and fortunately, a company that I went to work for shortly after I left Christiansburg valued teachers. We want you here.
Right.
I said, I don't know if I can sell or not. Let's go find out. Turns out I could, because man, I'm just teaching.
Yeah.
And now in my career, the last 20 years, I've taught doctors, I've taught insurance professionals, and it's the same thing, man. You're just teaching them, and you're giving them the tools, and then you got to throw some sales right at the end. Right. You get a commitment to do what I just asked you to do, and teachers can do that. And one day we're going to see a mass exodus from the classroom, and somebody's going to get the bright idea, let's put these people to work doing a million other things. Yeah. And it's going to help America. It's going to hurt the schools. Schools need to make sure that they're valuing their teachers, man.
Right.
For sure.
100%. We just had a conversation about this not long ago. And I said, man, I was thinking one day, bus drivers, right? We are giving them the ultimate responsibility multiple times a day to transport 30 plus kids probably to and from school, to their homes, down back roads, down busy roads. And what are we paying them? Teachers, right? They're directly responsible for the growth and processing and all these things, and each kid needs something different.
Yeah,
each kid learns a different way. Now they have IEP programs. Now they have certain things that they have to teach to, certain standards. In North Carolina, some of those schools get extra funding because it's a Title I school or something like that. So you have all these different things that these teachers have to do, and still, like you said, I feel like they should be on the higher end of pay, what they're required to do. You would think if somebody was responsible, if a daggone somebody from the government, look how they transport them. Maximum security, up arm, you know what I'm saying? And our children. So I think if we gave more incentive to have people have higher paying jobs to drive the buses, stuff like that, not only probably will you get, more people to apply.
Right.
But, you're going to, the cream would settle at the top.
Oh, man.
100%.
Most important job that we have. And what's crazy is the one thing that we should want teachers to do the most, they don't get to do, and that's define policy.
Right.
What does it take to be successful in the classroom? And no offense to anybody, we let our legislators decide that, who don't know anything except what lobbyists tell them. Everybody's got an agenda.
Right.
Meanwhile, with teachers, y'all do lunch duty, right? You do after school duty.
Right.
You do before school duty. You teach in your classroom. Some people even want to arm teachers, in case of school shootings and stuff, man. But what we don't want y'all to do is set policy and how we can have successful schools. For God's sakes, man, let's let them tell us what it's going to take to be successful, because they know.
Right.
You're there every day.
And I feel like you made a good point. You said we should have, I think one of the other classes we should have is money management.
Yeah.
Teaching kids about what a credit score is and how that whole system works. 100%. And also teaching them maybe having a real estate course, because, a lot of people are in the mindset, when we graduate, if I would have had somebody pull me close when I went into the military, I would have bought a little $40,000-$50,000 house.
Yep.
But at the time, you're like, oh, I don't want to live in that. But it's genius, right? Live in it for a few years, fix it up. Then when you go to get your real first home, you flip that, you know. But we're not telling these kids that. They have to learn that at home, right? They have to learn majority of life skills are outside of school. And I feel like they should be inside, right? Because you're teaching some of the kids to pass the test, teaching them to the standard of the test so that the numbers look good, right? So that we can, you know, and I'm not speaking bad about anything like that. I'm just saying for the system and how it is, I think we could do some different things. And
you're so right.
You know,
teachers don't want to teach to that test and teach to that number, right? Teachers want to give you the content that's going to make you well-rounded, educated, make smart decisions.
Right.
And that's why we need them setting policy. But have you come in and speak on that. What was life like for the 10, 15, 20 years after you guys graduated? What went well?
Yeah.
What went wrong? I can't teach that class now. I'm 52 years old, right? I don't have that credibility. You're an old man, right?
You look good.
Let's get you guys.
52?
Yeah, that's why we're best friends. Right?
52, you're running every day.
Try to, man.
And guess what, Steak and Sauce family? Guess what he listens to when he runs?
Steak and Sauce.
Hey.
I get 2 runs out of you guys. I'm telling you, it is the baddest podcast. As soon as I turned on to it, when you drop it, I'm like, my next 2 runs, man, I got 45 minutes or so per. But you guys could come in and shorten that learning curve. The things that it took me a lifetime to pick up. Yeah. What if we could teach kids right out of school? Hey, here's 10 things. 5 of them, y'all ain't gonna listen to me. You go get them wrong.
Right.
But I can shorten that learning curve for you if you just do what I do what I didn't do, and you could really speak to a lot of that.
100%. Tonio, you want to take a second to talk about Mr. Cody Rush?
Cody Rush. He's a Christiansburg alum too.
Yep, Christiansburg alum, and he is running for
Montgomery County Clerk.
So shout out to Cody Rush.
Yeah, thank you for the hat and the shirt.
And the shirt. We'll continue to support him, you know, and we'll continue to plug that, and we wish you all the luck. He's a veteran as well, right?
Veteran.
A veteran, so please
Virginia
support
Tech
him.
alum.
Yep, and
a great man.
Great man, and everything he's doing. You know, hopefully he'll get us some pizza after we say this, and bless our show and everything that we're doing. Y'all know I got to
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, Cody, thank you, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Nick, as well.
Yeah,
and everybody. It brings us into a good point because I think that younger people, especially, I just had a conversation about this. Me and you talked about this. Looking into life insurance. And something that you are directly involved with, right? How important is it for these younger people in the best shape of their lives at 21, 22 years old, when they don't have sleep apnea, they're not on blood pressure medicine, their cholesterol's at a great level, all these things are working phenomenally. How important is it for them to try to max out the policy that they could possibly get?
Oh man, it's so important, and I don't sell this stuff, so I could speak on it without. He's just trying to get a premium or something. I like that. Man, everything that you said, spot on, fellas. Because you're gonna get to a point in life. We all are gonna get to a point in life where it's harder to get. It's gonna be more expensive if you can get it at all. When I was coming up. In my 20s, teaching high school, it was hard to make those ends meet. A lot of people, man, it's hard. It's hard today for so many people to make it meet. And you guys joke around, you know, you might have to lay down a steak and go get the chicken tenders instead. Free up a few dollars.
You can't have that steak every night.
Yeah, but life insurance is so important. You can buy a policy pretty cheaply. Term life, right? You're just making an agreement with the insurance company. If something happens to me in the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever the term is, that my family's taken care of. And you're not buying that benefit, okay? You're buying that peace of mind. So you know if something happens to my family, they're taking care of. A house paid for.
Right.
My wife doesn't have to worry about anything, something like that. If you want to go another route, it's more expensive. If you want to go another route, you can buy a whole life policy. Hey, you still get all of those things that you're talking about,
right?
But it builds cash value, so you can do a little something with it, you know, later in life. Hey, I made it, right? I didn't have to cash in.
Right.
Now I got something here that'll take care of the family.
Right.
And I told you about my example. I didn't do those things.
Right.
And 38 years old, I had a bad EKG, a few other tests. I got diagnosed with a heart condition. So I've got a defibrillator on board now. Hank Gathers, Reggie Lewis, some of these ball players that, you know, dropped dead in the game, same illness with me, just Madden doesn't count. I'm not an athlete, right? I'm not Antonio.
Right.
Some of those things usually don't come out until you hit middle age. Like it did for me, I was approaching 40.
Yeah.
Now I'm uninsurable, so the only life insurance I can get is what I get through my employer.
Wow.
So I maxed it out as much as I can. I'm paying for term life. I don't have that whole life that's going to build. I'm uninsurable. So your point is right up the target highway, man. It's while you're young, you don't have these things. Most people don't have these things wrong with them. Get it now while you can. Budget for it. You're going to be in so much better position when you get later in life.
Yeah. And I think that when I was younger in the military, I started a couple policies then. And I really didn't realize what you were talking about because we never know what's going to happen to us, right? One of the things that I can speak about having PTSD, that's one of the things that some of the companies look heavily at because there's such a stigma with PTSD, and it doesn't have to come from military. A lot of people have PTSD from normal things in life, car accidents, dog bites, swimming accidents, whatever it is. Anything that causes you to not want to revisit that experience, avoid that experience, causes anxiety behind it, you have PTSD, right? So I second part of my PTSD was that time I was with that girl and I dripped sweat in her eye. And I thought that she was crying because I was doing a good job, but really she was crying because I was burning her eyes up. I have a little bit of PTSD from that too, just to be honest with you. Huh? What do you mean? Why? I mean, it happened, So now,
Get over it.
I mean, I have gotten over it. That's why I wear my sweatband now when I'm in the bedroom, So I kind of look like, one of these older, players, knee-high socks, one knee brace, sweatband, Iverson little finger sleeve, I don't know if I'm getting ready to get it in or go play pickup at the rec, but either way, So I was able to get some of those in line. But now that I'm a little bit older, we're approaching 40, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? I recently tried for a different policy, and that was one of the things they wanted to look deeper into was my PTSD and stuff like that. So I'm thankful that I went ahead and took advantage when I was younger. Mm-hmm. You're in great health. You'd be able to max out a policy.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. And I tell my brothers, I tell all the younger guys I hang out with, you're never going to be this age again. You're never going to be in the best of shape you are. You guys have children, Jalen, Jordan, DJ, Preston, all those guys. Go ahead and get with somebody. Go ahead and do the blood work. Get the physical done.
That's right.
Max out the policy. You're going to be able to really, really benefit from these things. Because, like you said, at the end of it all, you're trying to go get it. They're looking at the paper like, we about to get this dude more money. He's like 2 feet from just being done. It's a game. They don't want to do it. So another side to that, a lot of people use these life insurance policies because they max them out. That's generational wealth. A lot of people want to know how money's passed down from generation to generation through families. It's because somebody took advantage, got a couple $1 million policies because they know their family can benefit from it. And now those children come in and walk into this money when they get of age. They do the same thing. They get policies. Those go to their children. So 5 generations deep, the wealth has stayed within that family.
Yeah.
Because like me and you talked about, one thing that's inevitable, we're all going.
That's right.
We just don't know how. But Max could be 21 years old. You set up something for him, a trust or something like that. And now Max has the assurance of the money you left him, so Max can go do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Max don't have to work at Corning or somewhere like that, to make ends meet. Max can go play basketball overseas, whatever he wants to do, because you took advantage of an opportunity. So it's almost like you're doing it for your last name.
Yeah.
It's not going to benefit us. Right.
Leave it better than you found it. Right.
Right.
That's what we want. We want our kids to do more. My 2 boys are 28 and 25 now, and I look at them and they're all some of my good points.
Right.
They don't have my bad points. Man.
That's
And I'm like, that's how I know you guys are going to be okay. Because,
right. Yeah.
I see some of me in there, and I don't see some of me in there, which is a good thing.
It's crazy you mentioned that because my dad recently, I was sitting on the couch with him. Somebody said something to him and he got mad. And I looked over at him and he leaned up on the chair, quiet and just stirring. And it's like I was looking at myself. And now I see some of those. And the older I get, I see what out of my mom that I've took Me and my mom get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, roll over, and we guzzle half a gallon of water all the time. It's just something we do. I wake up thirsty, you know? And so my mom, she'll do it with Mountain Dews, right? So I know that's terrible, but my mom will lean over and she's got this Mountain Dew. Shout out to moms. And she'll crack it back and she'll go, ah. And you can hear from the other room because she said the Mountain Dew burns your throat worse than vodka, you know what I'm saying? So mom will be like, I got a thirst, and she'll yell it from the hallway, you know? Crack that Mountain Dew open. I think everybody in my family enjoys that burning sensation of a soda, you know? And I know that that's not good, you know what I'm saying? Somebody on here is going to be like, oh, they shouldn't be drinking soda. The only thing he'll beat is a buffet. Remember all those comments and stuff like that? Well, I'm going to beat you when I see you. How about that? So, you know, but I think that it's crazy how much stuff we actually pull from our parents. I don't have children yet, but I'm sure that if I did, Max, Tonio's son, when you tell him something and he doesn't believe you, he looks exactly like him.
He's going to give you the eye roll.
He gives you the eye roll like, God, like he doesn't even believe it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And when he loses, his daughter and his son were playing dodgeball.
Well, I instigated.
He instigated. He hyped it up. Mackenzie threw the ball. It hit Max's fingertips. He dropped the ball. Tonio goes, you're out. You're a loser. You're a loser. You suck. Max automatically was like, I didn't touch the ball. Like he went into a frenzy, right? Tonio's like, you're out. You're out. Mackenzie's laughing. Max grabbed the ball, hurled it at Antonio.
Yeah.
I was like, if that ain't Antonio, I don't know what is.
Very quiet and everything, but he does get
same
mad
thing. Yeah.
Quick.
You mentioned a couple different types of life insurance policies, and you said something, I wanted to get more clarification on it. The 20-year plan, that's in case in those 20 years if something happens to you, there's no cash benefit to that, correct?
Yeah, so term life, it's cheapest policy you can buy. It's what your employees are selling you. If you're buying life insurance at work, you're buying term life.
That's term life.
Yeah. You set the term with an agent. 20-year policy, 30-year policy, longer. All that says is if you die in that window of time, it's going to pay out a predetermined benefit that you're paying for. $100,000, $500,000, $1 million policy, whatever. Those are the least expensive because if you cost that insurance company a dime, it's because you're no longer with us.
So they don't mind paying that out.
Yeah, well, they don't like it. Right. They wish you were here.
Right.
What they like is you get to the end of the term and they smile and say thank you for the premiums that you paid. You go on and you're happy. Right, because you didn't die, you're still here.
You're gonna have to renew another term.
Yeah, and it's gonna be more expensive as we all get older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you were here to take care of your family, right? And that's important. Now you can buy a whole life policy at your age. People listen to this; it's 20 years old, and they can go out and buy a whole life. It's going to be a whole lot more expensive. But in addition to getting that payout, if something happens to you, you're building a cash value. So something you get to the end end of your life, you talk about leaving something, you've got something that you can rely on in retirement.
Right.
You've got something you can pass on to future generations. You've got something that you can borrow against for things like college or down payment on a house.
Right.
That's something that's going to pay off in an innumerable amount of ways.
Right.
It's going to cost you more, but it's worth it because it's going to give you some financial flexibility.
That's awesome. I think I want to build up with the whole life term in case, if I don't have a family at that time, I got a big lump sum of money I can keep going to Vegas with, going on dates with these young girls, paying their tuition, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure their books are straight,
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? They got to eat too. They don't want ramen and cookout all the time.
No, they don't.
They want to eat hibachi, so I'll make sure I got a little bit,
Must be nice.
Listen. You got to prepare for both ways.
Yeah.
It ain't tricking if you got it, right? So,
It's tricking no matter what.
I mean, you going to trick at home too,
It's different.
It ain't different. Let me tell you, I'm glad you brought this up, Mr. Glover. It ain't, let me tell y'all something in the world. Y'all better be damn careful who y'all decide to be with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of this daggone Oregon Trail, you better make sure that the policies, these whole lives and all this stuff you got in place.
Going to the right person.
Because I'm telling you what's going to happen. All right? She never liked you. She never liked your mama. So when you fall over, she going to take that $1 million. Her and her boyfriend is going to go on. Okay? Your kids, nobody has access to it because you signed her as the beneficiary of this money. So when your son comes up and he's like, I need a new Xbox, she'll say, kiss my ass. Your daddy's gone. Oh my God. There's nothing nobody can do about that. You wanna know why? Because somebody came from the outside into your family.
Yeah, they invaded it.
And invaded it. An alien. Everything that you worked for in this thing, and you're giving it to her. So young men and women, make sure that you know the person riding with you ain't gonna be like on Titanic. There was plenty of room for both of them on that daggone wooden plank. What'd she do? I love you forever, Jack. Pushed his ass into the water. First thing she did, right?
I will never let it go.
Bam! And he sunk like a rock. And she watched him go, right? What'd she have at the end of all that? The heart of the sea.
Had the jewel, baby.
Had the jewel. This is all full circle. I'm trying to tell y'all what's going to happen.
So that's why you need to teach a class.
This is why I'm going to give it to them
first
real.
question they ask you is, how much you say that policy's worth?
Yeah.
You got to find somebody.
You got to find somebody else. Because I'm telling you, you got to make sure, because everything that you've worked for, you want to make sure that your partner, man or woman, is going to delegate that throughout your family. And they don't have to go to everybody, but she's going to make sure that your children are okay.
Yeah.
If your mom needs something that you would be there for to help with, she's going to help. You know, you want to make sure that all those things are taken care of, because I'm telling you, you're going to be in your daggone casket kicking and screaming because now she's got your daggone $1 million policy and she's done got with Shaka Zulu and they're doing OnlyFans. Ain't nothing you can do about that, boy. You know, or it might be your best friend. You might be up in heaven and you looking down. Antonio's got his tube socks. Antonio's got his tube socks on. He's like, yeah, boy, thank you, boy. He's got a Hellcat.
Put my foot on her neck.
Put his foot on your girl's neck, and ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm telling y'all, watch. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Take it for what it's worth, okay? Listen. I was going to say something.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. When we get into finding those packages, you had mentioned final expenses, some of the cancer policies that are in place. Can you expand on that a little bit? Because some people may not know that those things are outside of the normal packages, and those require a different level of cost, right? And all these things.
I'm gonna get high fives. You go get high fives from insurance professionals out there listening to this podcast.
Right.
Don't set them up for business.
Hire me, baby. Hire me.
So you don't buy a life insurance policy when you're younger and say, okay, I'm set. Right. Yeah. Insurance, we hope, is a marathon. We hope we're going to be here a long time.
Right.
You and I talked about that. We won't be here a long time.
I'm going to be here as long as I can.
Yeah, that's right. So your needs are going to change. Right. So once you get that house paid down, once you get those college bills taken care of, right now, you don't need all that life insurance right now, because man, if you've given her a house and the tuition's paid for, and then you die, what she gonna buy the Hellcat? She go. I ate chicken nuggets long enough. I'm gonna go get the steak. I got nothing else to pay for.
Yeah.
Your needs change, so you can take the life insurance and you can bring it down a little bit.
Okay.
All right, but there's plenty of other things you need to look at. Final expense. What's going to happen when you have to go to a nursing home? Unfortunately, in my family, we dealt with that with my dad. You know, how much is the nursing home? Well, we can't tell you. It depends on how much you have, okay? Just saying. You know, so you buy that long-term care policy. If you need that, it's covered.
Right.
Cancer policy. Your health insurance, it's only worth so much, you know, and there's a lot of co-pays and co-insurance that you are responsible for. When you need things like hospitalization, there's a hospital indemnity policy that you can buy. There's a cancer policy that you can buy, these riders that you put on with your health insurance. That way, God forbid, you get that diagnosis that none of us want.
Right.
Okay. You got to worry about a lot of things. You got to worry about getting better. Okay. Right. You got to worry about he or she going to be messing around with if you don't make it. I'm just kidding.
That's a fact.
But the one thing you won't have to worry about is how much is this going to cost me?
Right.
Because I've taken care of that.
And those are separate entities.
Yes.
Outside of the main policy.
I call them policies. Some people call them a cancer rider or a hospital rider or something like that. You're going to have health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, that's a conversation you need to take care of right now.
Right.
Well, you're one car accident away from financial ruin. But assuming you have the health insurance in place, talk to someone about what it does not cover. What happens if I get that cancer diagnosis? How much is that going to cost me?
Right.
What happens if I get hospitalized for a long length of time? Look at some of these people with COVID and how long they had to spend in the hospital.
Right.
What's that going to cost me? What can we do to plug up some of those holes so I know if I get that diagnosis, I just got to worry about one thing, and that's beating it.
Right.
I don't have to worry about paying for it.
I think that that's great information because rest in peace of my grandfather. If he had not retired from the Army, 23 years of service, and the service things that he had in place, the cost of what it took to take care of him every month in rehab after his surgery was crazy.
Right.
And this was for, I'm not saying that they gave him substandard care, but I'm talking about the conditions. It wasn't the staying at the W or something like that.
I hear you.
This is a basic bed. This is basic care, things like that. And I think it is pretty messed up that a lot of people have to put up their homes. These are people that put roots in and built a home, raised all their kids through this home, and now they're in a position to where the bank's like, okay, well, we think that your level of care would match what this house is worth, and then that's gone. So now there's a lot of things in place, and I think it's great. So not only young men and women, max out the much policy you can because you're in great shape. You're eating your fruits and vegetables. Also have those cancer riders, final expense riders, all those things, and ask these people about these extra things that you need to add on because you don't want to be paying on something that it's not going to cover you in full and benefit you, right? This is information to me too. This is something that when people watch this, they're going to be like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I think we all think we're all going to be able to dunk forever. And, now you go out and you do a couple layups and your back's hurting.
Yeah.
And you're
Out for a month or two.
You're out for a month or two. And you're like, man, this is different. What happened? You know what I'm saying? I know after I get me in a good session now at nighttime, I got to have me a 0 cal Gatorade. I got to stretch. I need a hot shower. The next morning, I got to drink a Boost to replace all the minerals that I lost. I don't even think you think it's fair we lose minerals like that?
I'm pretty sure they do too.
No, they do not. I did my research.
Well, you didn't say anything about sweating your eyes.
Hurts, right? Yeah.
Well, if she's on top of you sweating in your eyes, something's wrong. I don't want to see that.
So if she drops sweat in your eye, what's wrong with that?
She probably got the strap on your ass. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
God. Yeah, I ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
I ain't going to do that. You got to fight me like a man. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll fight to the death. Remember my buddy that grabbed the straps and broke the headboard?
Yeah.
Did you see that episode?
I did.
Okay. Antonio said that didn't happen.
It didn't. It couldn't have happened.
It did happen. It was a cheap
Listen,
IKEA.
Glover, you're not going to break the headboard when your arms
It ain't physics. He was that strong. It was a cheap IKEA prodigal. What do they call that? That type of board? What's it called?
Particle board.
Particle board. Headboard. I can crack that with my hand right now.
I say if you had to.
Yeah, and he knew it. He was in for trouble,
Yeah.
and he got up out of there. I'm telling you.
You see these guys lifting up cars and stuff when their kids get out fire.
When they're- yes.
Hey, you're strapped to the bed. She goes, I'll be right back.
And she
Hell
comes
no.
out. Yeah.
I'm like Shaggy with my legs spinning.
Yeah, he said, hell no, I'm out of there. I'm telling you, look at Weston. I'm telling you, I hope that his whole life thing was in place. He had final expense, everything, because she was going to take him to see the Undertaker. I'm telling you.
How much you say it's worth? I'll be right back.
Yeah, now what'd you say you got? Yeah, hang on. I'll be right back. But no, that is so funny. Now, we also touched on investments.
Yeah.
Me and you talked, and you said that there's a lot of different things that you could be looking into, but most of the things you need to take advantage of in the infant stages.
That's right. That's right, man. Investment is a lifelong thing too. We all want to retire, and right now at 52, I'm having to accelerate and put as much as I can in retirement.
Right.
Which means I'm spending less than maybe I'd want to spend right now because I'm catching up. For years as a teacher, teachers don't get paid enough. That's a fact. We covered that.
Right.
But also, I was making bad decisions. I was spending money instead of saving money. I cashed in a couple 401ks when I left jobs because I had to. Not because I wanted
to get you through to
to get me through. Exactly right. Yeah. So investing and insurance has got to be a part of life, just like rent and gas money. Find ways to put money around. And if you want to invest, just find people that are doing things that you believe in. Okay. That hey, this is going somewhere and I want to be a part of it. I had a conversation with someone at the end of last week that, hey, I think they're going somewhere and I believe in them. I want a little part of this.
Yeah.
So get in there. Are all investments going to hit? Nope. No, all investments are going to make. It's like betting in Vegas, man. Sure thing. Some of them sure things don't happen.
Right.
But some of them do. Some of those investments are going to work. diversification is important because you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
You know, the smartest people that I know with money that I'm still learning from, they've got their risk spread out over multiple ventures.
Right.
Some of those ventures aren't going to make it. Some of those ventures are not going to achieve the level they think, but some of them are.
Some of them going to hit. Yep.
And then the more diversification you can have, the more chances you're going to have to be set up pretty for later.
Right. One of our good friends,
Gary. That's what I learned from
and
him.
we call him Dad. He taught us a lot of stuff. He sat down with me, and not to put his personal business out there, but he's like, Derek, we have, he calls them channels, but they have, the portfolio is 26 different things. And, you know, some of it's large cap, some of it's overseas, some of it's this. But their model was, and I can share this because I don't think he'll mind, but when they were younger, his wife, mom, she would take her check because she was a teacher. They would use 70 or 80% of her check, and they would invest it into their mutual funds. And they did that for 30 years. And he was able to, cut down on costs and stuff and take care of most of the house and stuff like that. So now, what their investments are doing monthly is more than enough for them to live off of per month.
That's great.
And it's like you drink water and you refill it.
That's right.
Because they're at a certain percentage right now that what they withdraw is being put right back. So you're never touching the full.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Now, a lot of people listening to you right now, they're saying, I'm investing 70 or 80% of my money in Kroger, in a gas station. It's like, well, man, times are tough. But even if you do 5%, 10%, do as much as you can. It's better than nothing. And when you get into that mentality that you're saving and that you're investing, it's contagious.
Right.
And when you constantly reinvest that you're talking about, it grows. And the sooner you can do it, man, I wish I was doing this when I was your age. I wish I was doing it when I was 20.
Right.
But I wasn't. So I'm having to really catch up. Do it sooner rather than later. And you're going to look back on it. Man, I'm glad I listened to Derek.
Right.
Listen to Antonio because they gave me some good advice.
I try to tell all my friends, Antonio has been there with me every step, whether it's been a success or a fail. Tonio's been there with me through my first business and that fiasco. I couldn't have done it without him. Tonio's been there when I bought my first vehicle. I didn't buy my first vehicle until I did a tour overseas.
Yeah.
I didn't have a vehicle in high school, we just couldn't afford it. So to look at where we are now, and one of the things I told Tonio was that I tell all my friends, real estate and being able to sell a property without paying it off completely, and hopefully you walk away with some capital because the property's worth more than what you owe, even after everything that you got to pay and out to the agents and everything. That has been the most successful thing that I've been privileged to. And it's because somebody sat me down and was like, hey, Derek, this can work like this. When Gary sat us down and talked to us, he's like, look, you're never going to look back and be mad at yourself for putting a few dollars away.
That's right.
Right? And I try to tell that to all of my friends. Weston's a pretty big and knowledgeable investor, and we talk about some of that stuff. And I want people to know mistakes that you make, you can always restart, but you have to restart.
Right.
Don't let a loss keep you down. Pick yourself back up, start putting your chips back in, reinvesting, because I've seen it 100%. And even me, I wish I would have started in my 20s. I started small in my 20s, but some of the real estate things and ventures that I've had have been able, especially the most recent one, has been able to help me take and invest some of that, majority of it, and put that away.
I can tell you, probably when I was teaching you guys,
right?
I can remember a morning vividly waking up and the hot water heater had expired overnight. We had nothing but cold water. We knew we were going to have to get a hot water heater. It was smelling like electric burning.
Yeah.
First thing in my mind is, I don't know how we're paying for this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get my family hot water.
Right.
And it drained our savings account to get that thing fixed. I'm talking about a few $100.
Right.
Right. Now, if my hot water heater blows up, I have to worry about getting somebody out there quick. I don't have to worry about paying for it. I'm not rich, but I can pay for a hot water heater. Okay.
Right.
And that feeling, I promise you, young people listening to the show, that feeling is better than anything you go out and spend your money on today.
I know, right?
100%. That, shout out to my buddy Stuart Viley. He always talks to me about getting uncomfortable to be comfortable. And he's one of the guys that me and him have two different lifestyles, but I truly believe that he's shown me a model that he lives by. Same thing with you. If Stuart, Lord forbid, woke up tomorrow morning and he needed 4 tires, he's going to be mad as hell. But he's not going to be mad because he's trying to figure out how he's going to get them on.
right.
He's mad because of the way it happened, you know? And I think that's the level of being comfortable that we all want, that security.
Right.
You know, you don't want to spend that money. And a friend told me this. I complained about gas prices. She said, Derek, be thankful that you're complaining at the pump while you're pumping. Right? Yes, they were high. She said, but Derek, you're still putting gas in your car.
That's right. 100%.
So she had to break something down for me to understand, have the gratitude, because a lot of people are trying to figure out, hey, it's coming down to, can I stretch this little bit of gas or make sure these kids have stuff for the weekend, or they got a soccer tournament, or this or that. I remember growing up and my mom taking some of the jewelry that she had, beautiful jewelry, and taking it and selling it so that I could go on wrestling tournaments and stuff. She made it work. You know, and now she's in a position where she's getting ready to retire soon. And I've always told her from when we started this, she said, Derek, you have a gift and you need to use it. So when this thing blows up, when it does, I told her, so I'm going to get your house. You know, I told her, I said, eventually we're going to be at that point. And the best feeling about all that's going to be that how many people have been a part of this.
I just want to try to get some autographed pictures.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
eBay, something like that.
How many people have been a part of this? Because there have been so many things that kind of can knock us off. And me and you talked about this yesterday. One of the things that almost kept me from even doing any of this was the rut I was in from fear of death, fear of certain things. I went through a very rough period where I was scared of everything. And it limited me from reaching my potential. And me and you talked about, there's plenty of people that are sitting in a room with padding on the wall and an aluminum foil helmet, and they're waiting for the comet to come.
Yeah, they're waiting for something.
They're waiting for something to happen. But during that time, it's time that's passing, you know, and they're not living. They're not enjoying a beautiful day like this, sitting here with friends, you know what I'm saying? Like truly things that make them happy. And I feel like we talked about that, reaching out to people if they are in that rut. And making sure,
that's why, I mean, I love this show. I've made no secret to that since you guys started, because you're doing great things and nothing's getting in your way. And when that episode drops, it really puts a smile on my face to see what you guys are doing.
Right.
There's so many people that aren't there. We're joking about somebody I knew in my life years ago looked at me one day. It was always cloudy. You know, everything was always against him. Can't. He looked at me one day. I'm not making this up. He said, yeah, I used to be able to raise my hand up like this, but now I can only do it like this. And we laughed about that because, man, don't even know that he's making the jail that he's putting himself in.
Right.
You know, he doesn't even realize it. He just assumes. And that's what we see. So many people just assume you can't make it.
Right.
You know, we talked about PTSD. I was diagnosed with PTSD several years ago.
Right.
From my childhood.
Right.
And I can speak on this and not hurt anybody, they're gone. But my mom and dad battled alcohol and substance abuse. And growing up as a kid, man, I saw everything from fist fights to loaded guns, and we're leaving here tonight. And it was traumatic.
Right.
And it took me a long time to get over that. And some days it's still, I got to take a deep breath to get over that, especially when I'm working with people.
Right.
And my mom's style of parenting was always be super conservative. Take the easy road, because if you take the hard road and you don't make it, you'll have nothing.
Right.
And that stayed with me for a long time. You know, well, I'm probably the least talented person in this room. I'm probably the worst teacher at this high school. I'm probably the worst sales rep in this organization, because everybody's probably got more than I do. And it took a long time to realize, I mean, I've got talent that I can use. And the only thing I should be afraid of is wasting it. Right. Because we're all going out of here one day. And we talked about a fear of death. Man, I don't want to go. Every day is a great day to be alive.
Amen.
And I want to be here until every last breath.
Right.
And your death will find us when it's our day. We're going to die. You don't have to worry about it. Death will find you.
Right.
But that's somebody's going to have to come looking for me.
Yeah,
I'm
a fighting
for him, man.
Yeah, I'm a do like on Predator.
Damn right.
When the Indian guy got on that tree branch and he knew the Predator was coming, what did he do? He put out that big knife, Wesson, cut his chest open, So the predator can see that hot blood. He let him know, you going to come get me, you're going to do it right. You know?
Yeah.
You're going to do it right.
Grim Reaper comes looking for
yeah.
me, man. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be like this. I got to chase him down.
Hey,
We can find
hold
him.
on, we got Derek. Oh my gosh.
That's gonna be a battle.
You know it's going to be a shootout. You know it's going to be a shootout. I don't give a damn if he's 10 feet tall. You have to whip me.
Amen.
You know? And that's what we talked about. And I feel that I say that, all jokes aside, from somebody that's been in a certain place, this is a safe haven for me. Being able to get this content out, being able to take the things that are in my brain and tell you guys, and you guys are like, hey, here it is. That's amazing to me because you guys helped me get this stuff out. You know, we put our heads together. We make incredible things. You could have never came on. You could have been like, nah, I'm good, bro. You know,
Yeah.
old lady don't want me on there, you know, talking crazy. I understand. And I understand your position. But how long have me and you talked about doing this type of stuff until we actually had to run?
Couple years.
Couple years.
Yeah.
People think, and I want to say this, we are humble. You've never seen us boast, do nothing crazy. It took us 3 years to get to this point. This is 3 years in the making of me and Antonio filming off of an iPhone. And it was so spotty, Weston didn't even want to watch it. Because of the way we had it set up. He said, Weston, like, he's got a command center in his house. He's like, I couldn't even watch it. You know what I'm saying? The content was great, but I knew we had something, the dynamic. I knew it. Like, there was a lot of people, me being one of the biggest ones that was in my way. Are you funny enough? Are you creative enough? Can you have people on your show and articulate a conversation and get this stuff out? Will people believe in it? They do. 100%. If I have people like you that come on here and say, hey, man, you guys have something great.
You do.
I know you're not just telling us that.
That's right.
Because you know us.
Yeah.
You've watched us come from young men. We're fathers now.
Yeah.
We are all these things. And you get to sit back and be like, you know what? I feel proud.
Well, I do feel proud.
And
I
Remember
love you
these
guys.
goofballs.
Yeah, I remember he's like, Derek going up the hallway, making squirrel sounds, running after girls,
Hey, whatever worked for you. That's what I'm saying, man. You could pull that off. But what's great about this is you guys, you're pushing 40. I'm sitting there thinking there ain't no way.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute you're 40, and the next minute you're the same guys that I knew 20 years ago, and that you're full of life.
Yeah.
And you got something great here for sure, man. So you just keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that because today was special because I kept it from these guys. I know Weston could hold his water, but I really wanted Tonio to genuinely see you walk through here.
Yeah, I couldn't take it.
And he couldn't take it.
And
I really tried. I tried so hard because I knew this was special. And out of all the people that I was looking at, I was like, you know what? Who do I want to talk to? I was like, man, I started looking. That's Mr. Glover, man.
Yeah.
Like, we got to have him on here.
If you'd have told him I was coming, Madden 2004,
We'd have loaded it up
on the screen, man. And I had to play the rematch.
We got 23. We got 23 at home. We got to get your gamer tag.
Tell him about the dude you played. I think you ran a kickoff back on him, and you heard him screaming, and then the thing went silent.
Oh, yeah.
I think he broke his whole console. Like, I'm pretty sure.
You know how it goes. It's the lost opponent.
Yeah. Tonio ran it back, and I know Tonio probably started high stepping from the 40-yard line
Because he thought he had a game-winning drive, and there was like 10 seconds left, and I was like, it's over. Caught the kickoff return. Tyreek Hill took it to the crib.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. He's 102 on the game.
Poor dude probably threw an interception, and from his headphone he heard, I got it.
Yeah.
They definitely hear it.
I'm going to tell you one thing you don't want to hear. You're already mad because you're losing. Two players jump up in the air. 10 seconds long. You got to watch.
Dude, they know that I'm coming across the field to pick it off.
That's how mice get broken.
Yeah. And then you hear Tonio not just say, I got it. He says, I got it. Do it. I can't even do it. I got it. Yeah, like that. And the level of rage that goes through your body because you know he's going to take it to the house,
That's right.
I mean, it's just, I can't even do it. Like, it's so funny that we're able to sit here. Shout out to Brad Foster. That's my homeboy. I want to tell this quick story. How we looking? Okay. Brad Foster used to pick us up for school. At that time, I was not very punctual. I'm still not very punctual at times. I'm sure these guys can say that, but it's okay, right? I do my best. When I was in the Army, I was very punctual, right? I didn't have a choice, right? But it seems like every time that I'm trying to leave a little bit early, something, I forgot my wallet. I forget little things.
Yeah.
So I try to put it all in one spot. Anyway, I would wake up from my alarm. I'd look out my driveway. Brad Foster drove a 1997 Nissan Maxima, baby blue, right? He was already in my driveway waiting. I'm in my drawers, okay? Haven't showered, haven't brushed my teeth. Brad's calling the house phone. Hey, man, I'm out here. I said, man, I'm putting my shoes on. I'm coming, right? After I showered, do everything, I walk out. Brad's so mad, he can barely even breathe, right? Now, mind you, he just picked me up. We also have to pick up Terrell, right? So we got to go to Terrell's house. Terrell comes down. As soon as we pull up, he's skipping down the driveway with his football bag. We got practice. And Brad's like, I'm telling y'all right now, we got to fix this. He's like, I can't be late because I think his first class was yours.
Could be.
Could have been, right? Because he would park around that side.
That's right.
Brad had two things every morning, and I'm not lying. Brad had a boom box in the back of his car because the radio didn't work.
Yeah.
And I was the DJ in the back, right? on the boom box. And Brad already had his 2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits in his Hardy bag with 2 little grease spots in it, rolled up. One morning I asked him, like, can I get one of those? And he was like, I mean, God, he's like, I'm already picking you up for school and you want my food too? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're asking too damn much, So I remember one day I made him so late, right? I woke up super late. Brad pulled in the driveway. He called the house phone. I said, bro, I'm coming. 5 minutes later, I heard, wee. He was in reverse.
Oh.
Brad took off. I was like, dang. I was trying to call him. He wouldn't pick up, So I had my neighbor Mike run me up to the school. And I saw Brad at lunch. He was sitting at the lunch table. He was like, yes. Yeah, he does. That's what he told me. He's like, hey, man, I'm sorry, But shout out to those guys because I said this on another episode. There were a few guys we went to school with that had it figured out already. They knew the level of GPA they wanted to have. They knew how important being punctual was. They knew outside of graduation, hey, I need to do these things to get us to a certain point.
Yeah.
I learned some of those traits late. In high school, I wanted to be funny. C's were okay as long as I got by. The hardest thing I had to worry about was how many times I had to hit the sled in football practice, right? Life was simple, right?
We was mature.
We were, and looking back on those guys, they really had it figured out. They knew, and it wasn't because I didn't have family members that told me. My grandma and them were like, Derek, you need to get involved with community service. It's going to look good on your application for colleges. Are you involved in any projects? Are you going to be an Eagle Scout? I was like, I ain't going to be no damn Eagle Scout going up in the woods and building bridges and sleeping in sleeping bags with each other and stuff like that. And I say that because he's an Eagle Scout. But no, these things are great things to help build you. And there's a reason why somebody told Weston, his parents or somebody, these are great things for you to do. So to the young men and women out there, please pay attention to the things that people are telling you. They're not just telling you this because they want to take up your time. They're telling you probably from a space where they didn't do it, and now they know better. Because had I known better, I don't think that I was ready for college when I graduated. I needed something more grindstone, right? And I knew, hey, if I want to leg up or I want to really make something of myself, I'm going to have to put myself out there. I'm going to have to get uncomfortable. So shout out to all the guys that had it figured out. And you know what? To the people that didn't believe in us, to the people that wrote us off.
Hey, like me now.
All right? And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We ain't going nowhere. You got to hear from me a lot, Your baby mama already does. But the crazy thing is, I want to get into something right quick before we sign out. We talked about Medicare. Can you get into that just a little bit? Is there anything that's changed with that? Is there new policies? How does that work exactly?
Man, so that is what I do.
Right.
For folks out there that are on Medicare, you got a parent or a grandparent on Medicare. I'm gonna say this, boy. I'm gonna make some people mad, but it won't be the first time in my life.
Right, I do it all the time.
Right now, the hot thing is, hey, with your Medicare plan, you can get a food card, right? You go to the grocery store, you can get a gas card. There are all these freebies that are being put out there, and if you're on Medicare or you know somebody that's on Medicare, phone's ringing off the hook. All right, find yourself somebody that you trust. I don't care if they're on the phone or in town. You find somebody in town, probably be better. But you find somebody you trust and you tune all that stuff out. And when the phone rings, don't pick it up. Or if they pick it up and they say the word Medicare, you set it back down and you go call that person that you trust.
Okay.
And they will put you on a plan that's right for them, because there's everybody out there right now. And the number one goal is, if I write you, I get paid. If Antonio writes you, I don't get paid. So I got to make sure I put you on a plan.
Okay.
Another thing that happens, Antonio is your agent. He puts you on the right plan. The only way I'm going to get paid is to flip you off that plan. Right?
Damn.
It's like playing flip rocks or beer pong or something like that. I got to flip a card, right?
Right.
Don't do it. You get somebody you trust, you check in with them every year.
Right.
They'll put you on a plan that you need, and then leave it alone.
Right.
Set it and forget it.
Set it, forget it. Hey, what was that guy? What was that? The chef with that?
That's it.
Set, right. Put the ham in. Set it and forget it.
Right.
I used to watch those infomercials all the time. That's hilarious.
That's it. You pick up the phone, but
Yeah.
no buts. I'm on my plan this year. I'll look next year. And if I go to Antonio next year and he says you need to stand pat, best believe it. And go on. Get somebody you trust and let it go.
So a lot of agents out here, from what you're saying, they're competing.
That's right.
Just to get a write off.
That's all it is.
They don't care how that looks for those people.
Yep.
So everybody that's watching this, please pay attention. And also, I don't mean to put you, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but are there agents that work for you or somebody that works for you that these young folks can contact if they want to start a policy, life insurance and all that kind of stuff?
Lot of great agents
Right.
out there. Far more great agents than ones you don't need to listen to. But
Right.
your name is on a list. Promise.
Right.
And that list is being sold to everybody. I promise.
Right.
Find somebody locally or on the phone, it doesn't matter, that you trust.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to anybody else but that person.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. That's very
There's
important.
a lot of people today that'll say, who's your agent? I don't even know. It's whoever called me. You don't even know who your agent is.
Right.
Find somebody you trust, do business with them. You got a car guy, maybe, you get a Medicare guy or a lady, and you make sure you don't stray.
Right. Don't deviate from the plan.
Monogamous relationship.
Right. Monogamous. I'm all about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I make them sign NDAs when they come in. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart.
Yeah, because some of the things we're going to get involved with, I can't have you out here telling people what I'll be doing. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you want them to spread the word.
Well,
You want them to spread the
yeah,
word.
we like free advertisement and we like repeat customers, okay? Because things, my quote, it's different at nighttime, okay? I ain't going to smile as much, So, everything that I've learned,
You're welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So he tells me I owe him a percentage.
Yeah, you owe him about 20%.
On everything.
He's older, but I taught him a few things.
Yeah, about 9 months, right? Yeah. But man, we got to have you back again.
Hell yeah.
Anytime.
There's so much more that I want to get into, and I know we kind of hit on most of the stuff we wanted to talk about, but I feel this is going to be so beneficial to people out there, especially
Good, man.
young folks.
Good.
We want the young folks to know you are in. My mom always told me, what's that song? Hold on to 16 as long as you can.
Yes, sir.
Time comes around, makes us women and men.
Yes, sir.
You're never going to be this age again. Like I say, you're never going to be in this best of shape again. Take advantage of your youth now. Get those high dollar policies. Make sure your kids can drive Hellcats. Look at the coach from Alabama. He made sure them boys was in Hellcats. They lost. He took the keys back. You don't want that to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? What's his name?
Nick Saban?
Saban? Yeah, Saban. I was about to say Fabo. yeah. For real quick, ask me a football. Somebody is a football question. Just one. Ask me a player, who he plays for, a coach, name a team.
Troy Polamalu.
Troy Polamalu? He's retired.
I know. What team did he play for?
He played for the Steelers.
All right. What number was he?
Ooh, 43. Yes.
Yes, we got it.
Listen here, Zach Nagel, Brad Foster, Terrence Saunders, Chrome Dome. Okay? Y'all didn't think I knew that, did you? Even Weston's impressed by that. Telling you, I know my stuff. Right? So that's a good place to end on.
All right.
That's like a free throw at the end of practice, right?
Walk
Yeah,
away.
yeah. But if you don't know, you should know by now. This is the baddest podcast on the land. Nobody else is doing this. We want to continue to provide great content.
Hell
We
yeah.
thank God for being creative and giving us this gift. We thank everybody for being here, Mr. Glover.
Yeah.
My pleasure, fellas.
We got to have him
All
back.
right.
This man is amazing.
right.
Everybody who is has been in your class, who knows you, they're going to love this episode. I already know.
Yeah.
And it's just a blessing. Continue to support us. If you want to come on the show, reach out to us. I have a lot more stand-up comedy venues coming up as well. I have one on the 25th. Shout out AJ Johnson at Lost in Taste in Christiansburg.
Yes, sir.
We have a Black History Month comedy show coming up on the 25th. I'll post more about that. The 28th of this month will be at Sharky's in Radford. So come on out on those nights if you want to get a good laugh. You know I'm going to say something crazy. I do a lot of crowd work, and I'm with a great group of comedians. All these guys are great, so big applause to them. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. Continue to share. Mr. Glover, for anybody that needs to speak with you or some better direction, do you want to plug anything, business, contact?
I'm good, man.
Okay, all right.
Send them my way if anybody needs any questions.
Okay, we'll send them your
put
way.
them in contact with somebody that can help them.
Gotcha.
Doesn't
Gotcha.
help me.
Right. We'll definitely do that. As always, please continue to be blessed. Tune back in with us. Until next time,